Alright guys, my name is ECR member Joshua. Welcome back to another video on our YouTube channel. This one, we're going to be talking about this bad boy. This is the brand new, right out of the box, Wolverine BOLT engine from Wolverine Airsoft. It is a drop-in, semi-drop-in upgrade for bolt action rifles, primarily built for the JG Bar 10 and the Tokyo Marui VSR 10. That just drops in and it transforms your weapon into a HPA rifle. So a hose gun, as a lot of people say, which means, yeah, you're gonna need one of these, an air tank with it. So when you buy your Wolverine BOLT, right off the bat, all you're gonna get from the package is the components that go into the rifle. So you will need to purchase separately an air tank, a regulator, and an airline on your own. Just keep that in mind if you're looking to buy one of these bad boys sometime soon. Alright, so just a super quick overview of the thing, because I'm definitely not a Wolverine tech, but I can tell you a few things about it. Wolverine recommends usage in the 80 to 180 psi range, which is a huge range. So you got a ton of options there for exactly how you want your round to shoot. So the Wolverine BOLT engine replaces inside the cylinder, replaces the spring guide, the piston, and the cylinder head. Right? So it's not replacing any of the front end of the gun. It's not replacing the hop-up chamber, the hop-up bucking, the barrel. So all of that, if you're looking to upgrade, you have to upgrade separately. But you won't have to worry about any sort of a spring pull anymore. So if you were running a 170 spring, you're gonna lose all of that spring pull, and the pull will become much easier to pull. It'll be as though there were no spring in there. Right off the bat, the solenoid comes pre-installed with Air Saver technology, is what Wolverine has named it, which basically just means that you're going to be getting more shots per tank than you would out of most other competing solenoid engines. So even the Inferno, the Wolverine Inferno, or the Hydra editions, those are going to be a little less efficient than this BOLT is, which means you can get away with using a smaller tank if you want to. Let's say a 13 cubic inch tank. If you want to be using one of those, probably get away with it. Something super light. All right, so you notice I said drop-in earlier, and then that's not entirely true. It isn't really a drop-in upgrade. There is quite a bit of hands-on machining that you have to do. You have to mill out the guns in a little bit. So just a couple points on what you're going to want to do for that. You do need to drill a hole for the airline, is the simplest one. So you can choose where you want your airline to come out. I show this back here up for this place. Some people choose in the grip right here. Other people are doing it up here. See, a lot of different places for a lot of different people. It's really up to you. That's a pretty easy hole to drill. You can do that with your hand drill. You're also going to need to drill a hole in this piece right here, the cylinder housing. You need to drill a hole in that. That's a much thicker piece of metal. You might want to use a hole press for that, but if you don't have one of them, you can use a hand drill if you need to, if need be. You're also going to need to do one real quick drill into the actual trigger box for the trigger mechanism to sit in. So anyway, all to say, it's not a super easy install to do. It is a little bit advanced, it's a little bit hands-on. So you definitely want to, if you can, either have a professional install it, or if you're a little bit handy with those tools, you might be able to get away with doing it yourself. All right. They sell it with a couple different optional accessories. One of them is the brand new Wraith, which they're selling soon. I think it's coming out soon. So these are Wraith compatible. You can hook up their CO2 Wraith setup into these guns, either into the stock or mounted on the side of the weapon. The other optional thing is you'll see a lot of them are selling Wolverine BOLT with cylinder, which is, cylinder is a piece that will replace this silver piece right here with a black steel piece. You only need that cylinder piece if you have a VSR style bolt. So if your weapon is a Tokyo Marui weapon, you're gonna need one of those cylinder pieces. I happen to have a JG bolt laying around, so I was able to just throw it in there and keep my TM bolt sitting pretty with all of its hardware in it. Don't have to change any of that, but if you only have the Tokyo Marui bolt, you will need to spend a little extra cash for the Wolverine BOLT to switch it out, because the threads on the TM are a little bit different than the JG Bar 10 threads. So just a couple of impressions. They did a lot in their early marketing. They talked about how quiet the weapon is. That's true to an extent. It is quieter than, let's say, a stock JG Bar 10 or a stock VSR. But when you compare it to what they were saying. They were saying, I think, mouse farts is what they compared the volume to. It's definitely not as quiet as one of them, but it is quiet. It is more silent than the stock weapons. That's true. And you could theoretically sort of min-max your volume and get it shooting real quiet, but that's not going to it's not going to come out of the box like that. It's going to take some work to get it to as quiet as it can be. All right, so just a couple other things, and then we're going to go out and shoot the gun. But just real quick, it does have a tendency to jam. It's very rare. It's about once every 60 shots. Pretty sure that's a problem with just the VSR 10 style. The mechanisms behind the VSR 10 just sort of don't lend themselves super well to perfect feeding every shot. So just be in mind that it does jam. They're super easy to clear if it does happen. Really, really easy to fix when it does happen, but it does happen. As far as the accuracy goes, if you use the stock hop-up unit, stock barrel stop, stock hop-up bucking, it's gonna be all right. It's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna be getting consistently. You'll be able to hit targets at about 150 to 200 feet. But once you start upgrading the front end of the gun with a new hop-up chamber, a new bucking, a new barrel, you will start reaching out to those 250, maybe even 300-foot shots. So speaking of velocity, these guns do pack quite a bit of a wallop. They do hit very, very hard, all right? So like I said before, they do fire, again, in that 80 to 180 PSI range, all right? So that's why I'm not talking about the FPS, because the FPS varies so much in that range. But in that range, your round is coming out super hard, right? So if you're using some of these bad boys, boom, 0.4 gram BBs, which is what I would definitely recommend you be firing out of a gun like this. If you're using some of these guys, your round is going to be driving like a truck. It'll hit hard. You definitely want to be conscientious of how far your targets are away from you. You definitely don't want to be shooting anyone within about 20-25 feet. It'll really sting, all right? So we definitely don't want to make people too mad at us. Another quick thing on something that I would definitely recommend aspiring installees to do is, I've noticed recently a lot, if you're not too careful when you're putting in your aeroline, if you put it in through the body like I did here, if you pull it wrong, especially when you have an airline attached, if you pull it wrong like this, you can detach the air chuck, all right? So you definitely, what I would recommend doing is taking some electrical tape, and you would wrap the electrical tape around about this far into the hose line right here. You wrap it around a couple wraps so that the airline can't pull back into the stock or into the body or back into the grip, wherever you have it running out of. You want to make sure that it cannot pull the chuck off, right? It won't engage that collar accidentally. Well, that's about it for me, guys. Right now we're going to go out to the field. We're going to shoot at some targets, do a little bit of target practice. It's a little bit windy out there. Don't know how well it'll work, but we're going to try to shoot at some paper targets, see if that works well. If not, maybe we'll think of something more creative. All right, guys, I'll see you out there. So we're out here on the range, which is just kind of an open yard. We're going to be shooting at those 3 trees over there. We were going to be shooting at some real targets, but that didn't work super well with the wind. It might not work because of the wind. It might not be a really good idea to do. Might have to find something else to do. Better plan. Tape already came off. That plan didn't work. We're going to have to think of something else. Probably going to be super ghetto. That's what we think of next. It's going to be like super backyard style.
To the trees!
It's a little bit windy today, so basically if I hit the trees, I'm going to be a happy man. The trees, for your own reference, are about 175 feet away, so that's going to be most of your sniping engagements. If you're any further than that, you're running a pretty good risk of the target not feeling the hit just because of the speed you've lost from the distance. But this is going to be a pretty average range. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. We're using 0.4 gram BBs. They're black, so they might not show up super well on the footage. Aiming for the right-hand tree first. That first shot was a little bit to the right. Hope they show up well, but you'll probably be able to hear the click from the... That was a hit. Left side, a little bit lower than I wanted. We're shooting for the middle tree now. That was a darn miss. Perfect hit, right on. Left tree. This is the furthest tree, probably about 190 feet. Miss, hair to the right. Hit. Hopefully you can hear that. But yeah, if you don't hear that, you can know that I'm satisfied with the rifle. It's shooting real nice. Definitely very accurate for the distance and all the wind we're experiencing right now. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera. Just a couple other things to say about the Bolt while we're out here shooting it. It's, like I said in the review earlier, it's a little bit louder than I was hoping. Again, that might be something that you can dwell down. I haven't really figured that out if there's a way to do that yet. But it is louder than definitely they were advertising. But that's fine, I can get over that. It's still pretty quiet as far as things go. Yeah, definitely a really good rifle. We really are happy over East Coast Reconnaissance. We are very happy with all the Wolverine products. Very, very satisfactory, especially for the price point. Very affordable. Alright guys, so again, I've been ECR member Joshua. This has been a little review on the Bolt. Super happy to have you watch us. If you like this, be sure to like the video. If you like us, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram, all of our other media. We have media on pretty much all the major sites except Twitter. We really love you guys, really appreciate your feedback, so be sure to let us know what you think down in the comments below. We always love hearing from you. Love your faces, thanks for watching. Peace out. Wolverine, sponsor me.
Hi, I'm ECR member Liam, and today we're here at Combat Zone Sports, Merritt Island, Florida, to review the Tippmann M4 carbine.